Good afternoon, good evening, good night, and welcome to Throwbacks, where we talk all things cool and retro. I'm your host, Brad, and this is my co host, the Rated R, to my superstar, Uncle BJ.
Hey, Brad, good to be here with you tonight. Hello to everybody out in Throwbacks land. Great to see you, Brad. Brad, the Paleon to my Thrawn, the Marcy to my Peppermint Patty. What's shaking, brother?
Oh, you know how it is. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Feet are a little sore from all the toy hunting that I've been doing over the last week or so. So that's good. And then also, this is going to be our first attempt. I say attempt because who knows how it's going to work. At live recording this and then having it on YouTube after this on our YouTube channel at Throwbacks Podcast, where we normally put our toy hunt videos and BJ does his very good toy reviews and things like that. So we're gonna give it a shot. Hopefully we don't
Yeah,
pick our noses or scratch our booties or anything like that. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into it.
let's do it.
All right. So we're gonna start off with a little bit of entertainment news. Obviously, entertainment news has been a little slim lately due to the writers and SAG strike, and then I think now Disney's VFX teams are unionizing to be able to strike, basically. But one of those is coming to an end as the writer strike is officially over. So good stuff there. Good stuff there. A solid, I think it was at least 6 months that they were on strike. So it'll definitely start showing up next year in delays and things like that. But at least for the holiday season, we will be able to get you know news on shows and filming picking back up things like that. Um, Another thing
The
we've
world
got
continues turning.
Ahsoka. It does begin to roll. And what did roll was the or the final the final episode of this season of
Could
Ahsoka
be the final season.
wrapped
We'll
up.
see.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But we're not gonna do any spoilers on this one. In fact, we're gonna do a kind of state of Star Wars video coming up here in the next week or so, and kind of go over our thoughts on the whole season, how how we view Star Wars currently, things like that. We might do that again too at the end of Loki season 2, which just started yesterday. So we're gonna do a Star Wars one, and maybe we'll do a Marvel one because I think we've all kind of had our opinions after the Avengers kind of wrapped up and the trajectory of Marvel since then. So do at the end of both of those seasons, do a kind of nice little recap on how we feel those things are going, good, bad, or maybe even ugly. But so did you get to watch Loki yet?
No, I just got home.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't. I haven't dug into it. I don't feel it's a appointment viewing, so I don't really have to run out there and grab that right off the bat. But that is kind of a quick little roundup again on entertainment news. We're gonna try to plow through entertainment news a little quicker from now on and focus on some other things. But big time releases, big time things like that we'll still cover. But what's streaming, things like that, I think are pretty readily available to everybody out there. But so now we are jumping to the toy news. We do have a little bit of. This is obviously was a big week last week as Toy Fair 2023 coming to you live from New York City. I think it was at the Javits Center, or something like that. Anyway,
Wherever they do toy fairs.
took
All
place.
right.
Yeah, which apparently an article came out today that next year is like the last year they're doing it in New York, and they're moving to New Orleans.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, which might be. I don't know if that's actually shorter for us. Maybe that's something that do a road trip one year or something like that. But before Toy Fair, we did have some pre-Toy Fair news. We got the Target exclusive Damaged Vader and Clone Trooper Oppo. Went up for pre-order, but then it also like pretty much shipped right away. So I'm curious if this is a kind of a sign of things to come from Hasbro, as some companies have been doing this a lot better. Is all right, pre-order, boom, in stock, boom, ship. Um,
I
Obviously,
think they
I like
know.
that method a lot better.
I think they've recognized that they have some distribution issues. So I think they're trying to get out in front and a little bit and just say, well, if we predict that it's not going to come until 5 months later, nobody can be mad when it shows up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
As to where
Mm-hmm.
if they say, oh, it's going to come out next week, and then it is 5 months later, then everybody's pissed.
Right.
Kind of my theory there.
And I no, I think I think that's it. And I wonder if it's even more a Target, um, quote a Target or and or Walmart kind of thing where they've just had such problems with their pre-orders that maybe that's kind of their thing. Like, no, we're not putting these things. No, sorry Hasbro, we're not putting these things up. You know, 7, 8, 9 months in advance, and then you guys only ship us half of the orders, and we
Two
end up
cases.
canceling all of them. Right. Or hey, you give us an allotted amount. Well, those have to go to the brick and mortar stores, and then you tell us, oh yeah, sure, we'll send you some more, and they never come, and then you end up canceling all those things. But so those things are shipping out now. Definitely two figures to look forward to in the Black Series line. Another addition to the Black Series line is the Walmart exclusive Qui-Gon Jinn Spirit Ghost version. Apparently has begun processing and shipping out to people. Not something I pre-ordered. Not because I not because I don't want the figure, but because I just don't trust Walmart's pre-ordering, and it always ends up being a waste of
Terrible.
time. I'll hunt it. But is that one that you're gonna look to pick up, the Qui-Gon Spirit Ghost guy?
Oh yeah, give me all the Qui Gon you can give me.
Oh yeah,
You know
100.
the
I mean,
Qui
we got
Gon gin, the Qui Gon tequila, Qui Gon rum. Give it to me.
imagine. See, that's something that, to my knowledge at least, that Star Wars never done. Is they never done like a cool liquor, like a Star Wars themed liquor, have they? At least officially licensed, I don't
Not
think
an
so.
official.
Yeah, I know someone
I
did
mean
like
they.
a clone or words stormtrooper one, but it was clearly not officially licensed.
Well, they better get to it while Billy D's still around, because he'd be the perfect spokesperson.
I mean, you could do like a cool Qui Gon with the a hole in the glass in the middle of the bottle, things like that would be fun. Hello there, vodka or whatever, just fun things that I don't know why that's something that was left untapped, but Star Wars will merchandise anything and everything. I don't know
Uh,
why that got lost in the shuffle, but all the same. Um,
might be some Disney
let's shuffle
Park
on back to
exclusives.
yeah. Well, and I mean they sell Star Wars themed drinks, so why can't you sell Star Wars themed bottles? But I
Yeah.
digress.
Anyway.
So Walmart is also having their annual, semi-annual, however they do it, Collector Con, and that's opening up on the 13th of October with many pre-sales to come for that. From all the major toy brands, Hasbro, Mattel, things like that, will be popping up on October 13th. So have your phone, your laptop, all that stuff ready to go because those will be dropping. And if you want to take the shot at Walmart, go for it and send your pre-order in. Something cool
Walmart
that
isn't bad if you can order like two or three things that process at the same time,
yeah.
because they'll actually mail it to you in a box. But Lord forbid you order one action figure here, one action figure there. They'll just ship it to you as it comes in the
Mm-hmm.
crappiest envelope after they've stepped on it and farted inside the bag and sealed it up and sent it on its way to you.
And that's a common thing. My method, at least with Amazon, especially with if I'm ordering a vintage figure, is even if I don't necessarily want or need two figures, I always order two, and almost 100% of the time, I'll get one that's good. So one will be just destroyed, and the one's like minty perfect. It's the weirdest thing. So obviously, one ends up being my opener, and one ends up going on my shelf. But as money and inflation go higher and higher, it's harder and harder to justify that. So then I kind of just I'll just hunt it in the stores if I can help it. Let's
Yeah,
see,
I was
what
gonna say
can
I've
I
just
help?
about quit getting two of everything.
Yeah. Uh, what I'm not gonna be able to help myself with is Walmart has begun putting out their some Star Wars palettes. We got one end that is all um, I think it's all technically Bad Batch and Clone Wars. So we get the repaints for season 2 of the Bad Batch figures. And then let's see, look there,
Oh,
Uncle BJ's got one. Who's that? Was
talking about him
Jesse?
soon. Yeah.
But so yeah, those are all on there. Uh, and then on the other side, they have some cool little, kid stuff. Build a sabers and some new droid kind of bobblehead things. Neat little things to keep an eye out there for. But they're hitting all the WalMarts all over the place. So if you got a Walmart, get out there and get to hunting. If you're lucky, you can grab some of those. I don't think you're gonna have a problem with the Bad Batch guys. I think you're gonna if you want those, you won't have a problem getting those. The other clones, on the other hand, might be a little rougher time getting
I,
those.
I saw a bunch of the plain white Republic Commando, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's a good sign. You would think he'd be gone. I don't know if he was the one that they overpacked. I don't know. But
Yeah, I
I found
think
one
they're
Jesse. He was like, yes.
score. I mean, a plain white trooper is a plain white trooper at the end of the day, and I don't think as many collectors watched Bad Batch season 2 as obviously as the 7 seasons of Clone Wars. So,
And how many
yeah,
people are going
definitely
to army
more
build at $30 a pop?
that. Yeah, also the key thing, like, oh, I'd like to have two, but do I want to spend $60 to get two? Nope. Um, and then if you don't want to play $60, you probably don't want to spend what I think it's 300 and change for the HasLab Giant Man. And so far, only about 5,000 about 5,600 people have jumped in there for the HasLab this go round. I think there's still about 2 weeks left for it, so
I know I
it's gotta
complained
get to
about
10.
price of things, but am I crazy to think that's pretty darn high for a HasLab? I mean, what was the Sentinel? Wasn't that like 200 or
I
less?
think it was.
Mm.
I want to say the Sentinel was more. Well, Galactus was definitely more. I think the Sentinel was about the same price. I think this is bigger than the Sentinel, but not as big as Galactus. So it's like in that middle. But
Okay.
technically, for them, this is the biggest Marvel Legend. So he's technically a Marvel Legends figure. Is how they're selling it. As this is the biggest Marvel Legend figure we've ever done. Um,
Gotcha.
I think the hard point with this one is there's not an extra figure. You just get like different face plates and different hands and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah, I think 300 might be high. I think it may be like 225. Um,
Yeah.
I may you know what? Here, let me just let me just look at
Yeah,
this
take a
real
look.
quick since I had it pulled
Pull it.
up
Pull it up.
anyway.
What's it say?
Back this project. Yeah, $200. I was way off. My bad. two
Okay.
hundred
Well,
dollars. You know,
that sounds
and
more
then
reasonable.
assuming that you have premium free shipping, if not, then it's probably 225. But yeah, 200. But again, the problem is you don't get an extra exclusive figure. You're getting like different face plates and stuff that you can change out to make them a little different. I think one of them is like a zombie, so you can put zombie hands on and stuff like that, which is nice. But again, you can only display one head at a time. So in a lot of ways, one head is the same as three heads. Unless you're buying three of these things, and those are only for the most hardcore collectors. So, um, it's it'll probably back. I mean, if it 2 weeks, you're over halfway there. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. But
I thought it would come with
anyhow,
a
so
wasp. if anything.
Yeah, I don't know why they went that route. I think an exclusive figure is always the way to go um, for these things. And one of the things they said was, well, we want to make sure that everybody is able to get these Marvel Legends and stuff like that. Well, then you just flip it on its head and say, well, okay, well, if you put now you have a whole line based around this one central character that you're not going to have. You're not going to have Giant Man if it doesn't get back. So you're going to have all these characters, based around, oh, here's, basically having Giant Man in the middle and then all your guys around it. Well, now you're not going to have Giant Man. So is anybody going to really
Right.
want those figures? So who knows? But now let's get to the actual Toy Fair news. But before then, let's take a quick little break.
Santa's coming to town. Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
We are down to 80 sleeps until Christmas morning. Oh,
Wow.
we are chugging along. Super excited about it. Still have not explored the Christmas aisle. I've held myself off.
Good.
I don't think I'm going to be able to hold myself off from putting up my village Christmas tree like the day after Halloween this year. So don't think I'm going to be able to wait.
Brad loves Christmas.
I want
you
it.
guys. Get it.
I want it up. I want it up bad. But I don't want to look at the Christmas stuff yet, just because I want to make sure it's all there, and I can't really feel like Christmas with so much Halloween stuff out quite yet. So holding out for a little longer. But let's get back to it. Let's get to the
question
Toy
for
Fair
you.
news.
Question for you, real quick.
All right.
Question
Me.
for you, real quick. Since we're talking about Christmas,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
did you, when you were a kid, have the Sears catalog or the J.C. Penney's catalog that was the Christmas wish list, and you went
Oh, yeah.
through and it had all these toys that you could circle it and give to mom, or fill out this little card in the middle and send in your information to get these toys for Christmas. Did you have that? Was that a thing when you were a kid? Or did that already
Yes.
go away?
I don't have vivid memories of those specific. I do remember doing them because I remember like having like a dark red catalog, which would probably be like, again, Sears or JCPenney. Having like a dark red and gold, so it'd be one of those things, obviously. But I do pretty vividly remember the Toys R Us catalogs. Getting those in the mail.
Oh,
And
cool.
then of course we still got those all the way up until they closed up.
Like
So
5 years ago.
R.I.P. Pour one out. Pour one out for Toys R Us. May she rest in peace, and may they quit trying to dig up her bones and put her in malls and little gazebos and other dumb things.
Well, we got a shelf at Macy's.
Yeah, that we can write. We can put a plastic placard on it and say Toys R Us. Like, shut your mouth. just shut your mouth. If I'm not walking into if I'm not walking into a giant, massive thing with the smell of rubber from the bicycles and the beeping and then the random Nintendo sounds in the background, then I don't want it.
That's when we go to Toys R Us.
So glorious times.
And,
That's one thing
and
I'm glad we got to do together too. Is we got to many a time me and you got to hit up the good old Toys R Us before she closed up shop. So
And when you checked out, did you really even go to Toys R Us, bro? If the cashier didn't ask you if you needed batteries,
also
because
true.
that was a thing.
And did you ever really check out if during the checkout they didn't have the what was that gum with the zebra that lasted a solid like 0.3 seconds? It was like the green and it always had the stripes
Was it like
every single time.
Zootopia or something? Fruitopia?
Oh my gosh. Is that what
Was it Bazooka Joe?
No. Fruit Stripe. That's what it was called.
Fruit Stripe.
Fruit
Yeah, that
Stripe.
was disgusting.
There you
It
go.
was like-
that stuff.
Mm,
Every single time.
mm, mm, mm.
All right.
That
Now
was
we're
like chewing on a
finally going to
glove.
get to Oh, it's
Okay, I'll
awful.
shut up. Go ahead.
But it looked cool. That was, and of course that was all it
Sure.
took, was it for it to look cool. Toy
Marketing.
Fair. Let's they nailed it. Let's start off with McFarlane. They kind of brought the heat at Toy Fair. They had the exclusive. They were showed off the exclusive Batman the animated series in package, which today I started seeing people find these, and apparently there's variants and all sorts of things galore. But they went up for pre-order, but people are finding them in there. So this is a Target exclusive. This is gonna be a hot seller. Batman animated series has a big following, and being able to get them at this price point with McFarlane and having a build a figure set included will be big. So, um, I don't think I'm gonna jump into them, um, but no promises. One that I can make promises on that I will be jumping into is the Batman and Robin build of Mister Freeze Wave. They did show off some in package
Chill out.
reveals. Don't forget to winterize your pipes. Oh, we've got
Cool
in the line.
it.
We got Joe. We've got Batman, Robin, Batgirl, Poison Ivy, and of course the build of Mister Freeze, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Um, these look amazing. These look great. The Mister Freeze looks just like Arnold. I cannot wait. I will be hunting these like crazy when these drop.
You
Um,
know what's crazy about Todd McFarlane? I watched a video from Toy Fair. Shout out to Pixel Dan. I think it was Pixel Dan. And he was talking to
mhm.
Todd McFarlane. And, Todd McFarlane's been around forever, comic books, you
Oh yeah.
name it. And at this point in time, you kind of picture him as being kind of like a figurehead, kind of like the guy that just signs off on stuff, has 900 people working for him, and just, or, nine, I said,
He's in
uh,
it. He's in it, huh?
that, yeah, he's super hands on. He was there himself, talking to Pixel Dan, and like every figure he'd pick up, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, this Batman here, da 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 da. We're gonna blah blah blah." And I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, dude is in the game. Like when you get a McFarlane figure, it's legit. You've got Todd's blessing
Seal
on
of
it.
approval for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was cool. That was cool to me to see him there.
I think it's very cool, and you know, I think that comes through in the line choices. You get a lot of like fan service, which for some reason has become like a dirty word amongst collectors and fans and things like that. I'm like, fan service literally is servicing the fans. Like, who cares? Show me Luke.
Yeah,
Show me Han. Show me
please.
Anakin. Like, show me these things. This is what we want to see. You know. So it's just a weird thing. So, I mean, the weirdest thing about this is the hype of Batman and Robin, which is kind of panned as the absolute worst Batman. That's more offensive than when Schumacher put nips on Batman, kind of thing.
Well, we remember these movies in lovingly at this point. Enough time has gone by where we're like, you know, hey, remember when Arnold was Mr. Freeze? Oh, it was, good
It was
times.
so sad. No, I think it's great, and how many of our classic favorites could we look back on and honestly go, if we saw them for the first time, would we like it? There's tons of those that we look at it and go, oh, gross. But there's an affinity for it now. We've grown up to them and grown up with them, so that is a good thing. All right, here's a new one. Trick or Treat Studios, a toy company that I'm not familiar with, but did have a presence at Toy Fair, and they showed off their new Goosebumps action figure line. These are 5 POA, I believe they're like 5-inch figures, and they kind of come with like they actually kind of take a page out of the old NECA style horror figures, where they had the horror figure and then kind of a backdrop stand that says what they're from, almost like a movie poster, but obviously in this case the
I think
books, but
these guys are their thing is Halloween masks.
oh
I
really?
think.
Okay.
Yeah, they have like the nicer. I don't know if high end is accurate, but definitely the nicer than you would expect kind of Halloween mask. Like you go into Spirit or these stores and you're like, the Trick or Treat Studios are like the really cool looking masks. I
Okay, well,
think.
cool. I mean,
I think.
I hope they found their niche with this. I think this is a cool um a way to go to market, and of course, very smart market choice is with this line is a build a I believe the figure is Curly, which is the I believe is the name of him, which is the green mask, like the most famous Goosebumps um, character or image is the kid putting on the mask and it being like evil big teeth and things like that. So that's a build a figure coming to that line. That assuming the price point isn't crazy, I will absolutely jump into this line to get that. And something we've talked about before is there needs to be more of this. There's market for these things. The biker mice from Mars, short run, quick boom bang. You know, 5 6 figures in and out. Knock out your Captain Planet. You know, Super Seven. Like, give me that wave. Give me Captain Planet. Give me Captain Pollution and all the Planeteers and whatever the Gaina version of of Earth or Mother Nature, whatever that was. Like, knock those kind of lines out where they're there. There's love for these properties. There's love for Goosebumps. There's love for all Silverhawks. Super Seven's doing right now. Biker Mice from Mars, Street Sharks. There's markets for these things that doesn't need a Hasbro to have a giant licensing and put new cartoons out. No, just you know get however you get it, get the approval to make these things and pop them out there and get in and get out, make your money.
Easy, do it. Let's go. What are you waiting for?
And as long as you put out a a good product, you're set. Just let's get after it.
And then 20 years later, two guys will be doing a podcast talking about how cool you were.
That's true. And and hopefully they'll be just as good looking and put together as us. An interesting speaking of put together is Masters of the Universe has been put together with the Ninja Turtles to form Turtles of Grayskull action figure line coming soon. Now,
Oh yeah.
I was a turtle kid. I'm assuming from all our previous conversations, you would consider yourselves a Masters of the Universe kid, a Motu fan. So, what do you think about these two being combined in a mix-up, mashup kind of a line?
Any time I can see Masters of the Universe or Ninja Turtles doing well, survive in the news, on the shelf,
Mm-hmm.
in the BuzzFeed. Great. Am I gonna pick it up? Maybe not, but love to see it. I just love to see it being relevant. I love to see it being a thing, and I hope it does good.
Well, you did pick up some of the kind of like the DC crossover Masters of the Universe style figures, didn't you?
Um, you mean the ones
I
from
thought you.
like Toys R Us, where it was like Superman fighting He-Man and Merman fighting Aquaman?
No, they were. They had their own little like gray skull thing, and it was like I think it was called like DC Knights or something. But it was very like Motu, like they were bloody Motu figures. I could have swore you dabbled in those a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I
You know what I'm talking
remember
about?
now. That dude that came and went like so quick that I almost didn't even remember it was a thing. I got the Wonder Woman. I thought she looked cool, and
Mm.
I kind of missed the boat on a lot of them. I think it came out when I only you know spoiler alert, I only have so much money to spend on these
Don't we
things. So
all?
whenever they were out, I think maybe I don't know, maybe I'd bought a bunch of third party Transformers that that month or something. I
Like,
don't know, but
well, I
it
think
wasn't
too.
a priority.
No, yeah, for sure. And I think too with lines like that too. There's also because they kind of lines like that do come out pretty hot and heavy. Usually like 20 or so figures, and then you got to stop. You got to tell yourself like, okay, like, do I trust that this line is going to continue? Do I trust that I'm going to be able to collect this line? Versus no, again, it jump back to it, but something like Captain Planet, like, okay, clearly they're not making 3 waves of Captain Planet figures. I'm not getting 10
Mm-mm-mm.
waves of Captain Planet figures. I'm not going to see series 100 of these figures. Whereas something like DC Master of the Universe, clearly you could keep going for years on something like that,
Oh
which
yeah,
which they didn't. The line failed and was clearanced out, and I think you probably got 2 waves in total. So, is that
I think
something
I
that you
got
want
a,
to dedicate?
I think I got
I'm almost
ice.
positive you picked up something recently.
I did. It was one I don't remember who he's supposed to be honestly because it's so weird. It's like I don't know. Maybe it was Mister Freeze. I definitely got Wonder Woman because I just thought she looked cool.
Yeah,
You know, I, I feel like there's I needed to have more female characters on my Motu shelf. Because you can only have so many Shiras, and I was like,
yeah,
well, this Wonder
I'm
Woman, she
there
can be
with you.
friends with Shira or run around with Tila or whatever.
Have a good time.
Tila's, yeah, hang out with the
Let's see here.
sorceress.
NECA showed off again at Toy Fair. Showed off a few more of their stuff. Nothing ultra earth shattering. I think one of the coolest things was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Universal Monster. I think it was Wolfman and
Saw that.
I think Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, so those were cool. Diamond Select had a pretty good presence. They showed off their Van Damme action figures, which are clearly, the license to be Van Damme, but they're clearly Bloodsport figures. So those are pretty cool. They also got some action figures for Lord of the Rings, deluxe figures that included Gandalf the White, Saruman, Pippin, Merry, Sam, and like a big troll kind of statue guy. So that was pretty cool. And then let's see, let's hit this came after Toy Fair, but I want to hit it real quick because I want to talk just a smidge about something else real quick. And that is Hasbro announces a new kind of subset for their Black Series line, and these are called Holocom Collection. They're running $35, and what they are basically is just a blue see-through version of existing molds. I think that's who we got here: Han, Mando, Bo, Axe Wolves, which is really surprising. They must have big plans for him in the next Mando season or something for him to be one of these figures. But in that comes a little stand that plays lights and goes through this whole thing and talks and things like that. I think it's definitely a more bang for your buck version than just the kind of weird paint variants that we've been getting with the credit collection and things like that. I think
Yeah,
you
those
get
suck.
a way bigger differentiation of things than
Cause how much were these
Grief
things?
Karga.
Like
35.
$30, 35, and they come with this little
Yeah,
stand and they
35.
talk and all this jazz. It's
Talk,
kind of
light, all that stuff. So
kind of
I
like
think it's
the Comtech chip from episode one
yeah.
era, kind of. I do think
And they
these were
said it
some
plays
weird
for
choices for some of the characters.
yeah.
Like Ahsoka, I get
Yeah,
because
I
you
mean, we
can
never
do
saw.
whatever with her.
You've seen her, and obviously, I think the problem is original trilogy characters, as you didn't see any of them in really a holograph form. I mean, some
Leia.
Imperial officers and Vader. You kind of yeah, you see Leia. It seems like the slam dunk one there, but
Yeah, that would have been the go-to. Well,
which
they
I'm
probably
sure
didn't want to
that's
do her
she'll
robe or
probably
whatever.
anchor. Yeah, they'll probably anchor her in, yeah, because they're gonna have to make a plastic rope for her, so they'll probably anchor her in like wave 2 or something to hold that line down. But a pretty cool addition. I'm actually not annoyed by this one. I will definitely pick up one or two, at least one to see what all the fuss is about. But I want to get
That's my
into a
thoughts
little
as
bit of
well.
fuss, positive fuss, and it is the Toy Line 3.0. Um, and I kind of have to wonder: is this the next sideshow Hot Toys with their premium 1/6 scale figures that they've been doing? They seem to be doing a lot of some outside the box things, but also some Marvel Legends or Marvel Legend type things. But at Toy Fair they showed off some Walking Dead figures, Rambo,
They look
of course some
good.
anime stuff. They've already done a set of Power Rangers, which I do own. But they also showed off that they're doing Power Rangers Zeo, some Putty, some bad guy, things like that. Stranger Things, season 1 characters, Transformers, the GI Joe. I think it was Cobra Commander. I sent you the picture of that thing. Looks freaking amazing.
Like
Like
I know
the
them from
buttons
doing.
and ooh.
Oh man, I know them so far from doing these like Transformers, uh, models
Mm-hmm.
slash statues slash whatever you want to call them that don't really transform, but they look great. They did a
Right.
Voltron, looks great, and now they're got
Oh, okay. I didn't
Coke,
know that.
yeah, and this, yeah, they're climbing, it up, climbing that mountain. Good
And I
stuff.
think I think the big thing here is price point. Um, the Power Rangers are mainly $100 a piece. I think like the White Ranger, which he does have extra stuff, is like 125, so not bad there. Putty, $100. I think the Stranger Things figures also $100, $100. Um, the most I saw when going through the website was 215, and I think those are some, again referencing your Transformers guys, the more complex metal things like that.
Yeah.
But I like what they're doing. I really do. So it's definitely something I'm gonna keep buying. I'm gonna have to decide on if I want to pull the trigger on the Power Ranger Zeo. But man, I'm not a GI Joe fan, and that Cobra Commander looked so good that I was like, I was itchy for GI Joe, and I do not collect a single GI Joe things. But just the look of the cloth and the robe and the accessories on that got me itchy to own just a GI Joe item and that be that item. So, um, I know you don't really dabble in the expensive stuff, but is that something that got making you a little itchy? Just almost as like a
Uh,
centerpiece, maybe like a desk thing or something to put in your living room that's classy.
maybe I wouldn't rule it out,
Our
but
version of classy, I guess.
I gotta be real though. I'm getting to that point where I'm like, oh my god, I collect too much crap, and I probably
Yeah,
shouldn't.
we always have to
I
be picky.
need to calm down.
Well, you're not going to be able to calm down too much because we got a spoiler alert. We're going to do a Halloween toy tour of Uncle BJ's house.
Yeah,
Well, at least his toy room.
well,
Um,
you can do the whole house. That's fine.
yeah, we'll do the whole house. We'll show you around all the cool little nicky nacky stuff that Uncle BJ's got going on there. Maybe you can even meet two of Uncle BJ's best good friends, Mr. Hank and Mr. Luke. But
Well,
we'll save that
Luke
for then.
Luke will be there. Hank will
Luke
be
will be there for sure. Hiding.
hiding.
He, we keep Luke in the closet when company's there. We hide Luke, our
No,
friend Luke. We don't
well,
let
that's
him.
Hank that hides. He's like, ah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, correction. Oh man. All right. Well, obviously there was a ton more Toy Fair news. Definitely check out channels like Pixel Dan for his content on his going through the different aisles and the statues and all these other smaller but nonetheless very impressive toy companies that are putting
and,
out just awesome product
he did
in our
also talk
times.
to Brian Flynn from Super Seven, and
Hmm.
Super Seven has so much stuff coming out. I don't even know where to begin. We already
Oh
talked
yeah, they're
about like the
pumping it.
Cobra. Yeah, we already talked about like the Cobra mothership, the big snake thing, and
Yep.
you know what? I misspoke. I thought it was only in the opening like sequence of
Hmm.
the cartoon. It actually was in a episode or two. It just I don't know. I forgot about that. Um, but you can open the take the panels off and put figures in it, and yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Right on, right on. All right. Let's see. Let's get to what we got this week. Let's go ahead and just jump into that. Let's jump into what we got this week. Let's see. What did we get this week? Let me go ahead and I'll start it off real quick. It's been actually a little heavy for me, so I'm not even gonna do everything I got this week. But we'll start off here for the people watching. We got a little Power Rangers Master Morpher. This is kind of like the tribute to Jason David Frank. I think this was also in one of the recent shows, but it's got all the power coins from his respective career as a Power Ranger. So very cool to have that. Let's see what else we got here. I found for a nice little clearance steel ski. We got a little New Hope figure and Dan, $8. Again, can't beat that. Get out of here. All right,
Woo!
and then we came across Star Wars Ahsoka Morgan Elsbeth. Looking forward to cracking that bad boy open. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and start a new DTOF shelf for my Ahsoka figures because I have a feeling there's going to be plenty. All right, get out of here. Coming up next, BJ's favorite. We've got Mandalorian Scout Holiday Edition with a nice little Babu freak in there. He's got a nice little, for some reason, looks like some kind of starfighters chasing the Mandalorian. So there you go on its sweater. So I love these things. Always make a display of the Star Wars stuff, which we will show off in my village thing this year, and then went ahead and pulled the trigger. I know I've kind of like been out of AEW, but I do like Adam Cole, and this was over 50% off for the unrivaled Adam Cole AEW Target exclusive figure. So looking forward to getting that up on my AEW shelf. Another thing I gotta
Cool.
get up on my shelf is the dun 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 Darth Vader Return of the Jedi with removable mask and apparently removable arm, as his arm is cut off in the package. So, interesting choice there, but always nice to add another Vader to my Return of the Jedi, which I think is my third Vader from my Return of the Jedi shelf. But hey,
Where'd you
gotta
get
do
that one from? Where was that an exclusive?
Amazon. No,
Amazon.
just Amazon. Yep.
Okay.
But she's very pretty.
Or
And this is the last. Well, technically, I did get. I just already put them on the shelf. But the Mandalorian Vintage Collection, Biker Scout, and Bike, which Uncle BJ very nicely and appreciate it. Did a awesome toy review of this figure earlier this week, and I think we both came out of it saying, "Yeah, go ahead and give me more vintage figures like that." Um, Obviously, I did not pay the $40 for it because I think that's ridiculous. But they are currently, for some reason, I think is technically a Target error for like 22.39 or something like that
love to hear
at
it.
Target. So,
Love to see it.
but great figure. As
Love
I
to buy
messaged
it.
you earlier, was able to pick you up one. So that might be a
Appreciate
little
it.
what you got this week. Next week. And then
Appreciate
the
it.
final thing for me this week is I finally pulled the trigger on the Super 7 Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Matt Cardona figure. I had the Wave 2 Matt Cardona pre-ordered for a long time, but I kind of didn't have a lot of trust in it. So I got on the Major Pod group and asked if anybody had it for below Big Bad Toy Store prices, and a couple people jumped into my DMs and offered me a price, and now I've got it to go up there with my Brian Myers for my little Major Pod shelf that I got there, just to represent the guys and support them and all the entertainment that they do bring as I enjoy their podcast each and every week. that is it for me on what
Oh
I
yeah.
got this week. Uncle BJ, what did you get this week, brother?
Well, let's see. Got a couple things. Not a whole lot. I got the GI Joe classified scrap iron.
Nice. Amazon thanks you for giving it a second life. Okay, yep, that's what I thought it was. Okay, cool.
Yes. I was like, I don't remember. I don't. It must have been like something somebody returned or the box got kind of beat up. I'm not 100% sure, but I got it for a few bucks off, so I was glad of that
Coming
because it
to a
was in the
review near
store.
you.
Oh, you betcha. Hopefully tomorrow if I have time.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, I've been wanting to get it because
Awesome.
Scrap Iron's a cool character, but $45, jeez Louise! Like, can you just give me the figure and like I don't really need the extra bells and whistles, but it was a few bucks off, whatever reason. So I'm just hoping that I open it tomorrow and there's actually scrap iron inside. It's not going to be
Now you
like
got bells. Now you got bells to go.
yeah, yeah. It's not going to be like Dreamwave Barbie or something. Yeah. Let's see. I got
Hey,
Captain Tala Durth, 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 Durth.
I am super excited to see what you think of that figure.
Me too. And one of my favorite clones I was lucky to get Art Trooper Jesse, which I haven't even opened him up, and I'm already irritated about a few things because they list him as Clone Commander
Oh no.
Jesse. No, 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 no. He was a lieutenant, wasn't a commander, and you can't really tell from this picture, I don't think, but he has the wrong helmet. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to find a really good clone helmet customizer to hook a brother up. But I think that's it, man. Hold on, one more.
There you go. That's it. Don't
I
run
actually
off with your
got
headphones
this.
on.
No, I actually got this a little while ago, but the
Those are the guys you were telling me about
skeleton.
the war. Yeah, okay.
Yep, the skeleton warriors from
Those are
Motu.
those are dope. Those are
And
dope.
these, yeah, I may end up getting a few more of these guys, and I'm also
Those are killer.
getting. Well, let me correct myself. I had the new Snake Mountain pre-ordered, and I canceled it because this month has been just stupid crazy with like pre-orders coming out of nowhere, hit me in the gut, sucker punching me like, "Oh, your order's processing." And I'm like, "No, stop! I need to eat
No,
this
please.
week. I need groceries and gas. Stop! Spread it out. Spread it out."
It's a problem.
So yeah, I ended up canceling Snake Mount, but I do intend to get that at some point because it looks really cool.
Yeah, yeah, you can probably do like a paying for or something and get it.
So I mean, it wasn't that expensive. It was like less than $100, but
Yeah,
the
I
hundred
think it's like
dollars
80
that
bucks
I
or
needed to
something.
save. I just had
Hear that?
some stuff fixed to my house today. Electricians came out and fixed some stuff for me. That was $500 down, gone with the wind. So
Yeah, adulting can be a pain in the butt sometimes, but
I know.
that's what we got to do.
Hate it. Don't do it. Don't recommend. Very low recommend on that. But anyway, that's all I got, sir.
All right. Well, let's get to our final segment, and this is the new one where it's the question of the week, where we are going to ask each other just random questions out of nowhere that we have come up with. Obviously, this will be replaced one day when we get some cool questions from you guys on the YouTubes or on the podcast or Twitter or any other place that you find us. Knock on the door, leave a letter in the mailbox. But my question
Yeah.
to you, Uncle BJ, is What con do you wish you could attend but haven't? And we'll add in this kind of amendment to it that it will be a stress-free con. So VIP access, obviously all paid for. Money's not you can't spend $1 million, but your hotel, the con's paid for. VIP access. You don't have any ultra crazy lines to wait in. All those things that I know that you hate. So what con that is left out there that you wish you could attend that you have not yet that is like this?
Well, I would. My first choice. There's a few probably, but my first choice would easily be San Diego Comic Con. So I've never been, and I would love to go. So there's that. Easy
Easy peasy. Um,
word.
to be different, and assuming that all those things are the same, I would like to go to a big toy fair, assuming that Hasbro, Mattel, everybody's going to be there, and I had the VIP access to where I could talk to the designers at Hasbro, so I could talk to the guys, you know, who's coming up with the waves and things like that. Just have that access to have those conversations and things like that would be really cool, especially with with what we do and what we collect and things like that. So Toy Fair would be my number two, but obviously I think everybody's number one and in a perfect world is San Diego Comic Con. But so how about you, Uncle BJ? You got a question for me? You want to rattle my brain?
A question.
Question.
Hmm. Okay. Here's a good throwbacky nerd question for you. If
Okay.
if you could turn on, um, I'm not gonna say pay per view. If you could turn on Peacock or YouTube or whatever right now, because this is the world we live in, and watch a magical, supernatural wrestling match between any wrestler from any time period and any Power Ranger from any time period, any Power Ranger show, and you had to put them up against each other, who would it be? What would happen? What would be the finishing move? And who would win? Go.
Hmm. Okay. Well, with the caveat that the Power Rangers are karate guys, I would say that that would kind of narrow it down
Or
a little
dancing,
bit to
or
you'd want more of a high. Yeah, you'd want more of a high flyer type individual. Okay. I will go with the green. No, I'm gonna go with the White Ranger, Tommy, versus,
okay.
and he'll be the face against heel AJ Styles.
Oh, oh, that's good.
I, I think you get AJ talking all crap like, "Oh, you're a goody goody. Yeah, that little kung fu stuff ain't gonna work in here, man. When I give you the phenomenal forearm, all that kind of stuff." And I think they're close enough body types because I think if you threw in, you know, Billy in there against Big Papa Pump, you're gonna have a you're just gonna have a problem.
No,
You're
no
gonna have Billy
contest.
screaming in the Steiner recliner. Yeah,
Oh,
so that would be mine. All right, well let me throw it to you then. I'll switch it up, obviously. Same wrestling side, but versus a GI Joe character.
well. Hmm.
Unless you had a Power Ranger one that you wanted to throw out there, but
I mean, I don't know. It might be cool to see um, Kimberly and against Becky Lynch.
okay.
I think Becky Lynch would
Hmm.
win, but does it matter?
Or if you went with heel Charlotte Flair, then yeah, ooh, Charlotte Flair will hit you with some dirty wordies, man. Yeah, that would
That'd
be
be
cool.
cool.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Hey, I didn't really think about the women's side of things. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, a
Damn, yeah,
lot
you
of
get
women
some
to
good
choose
ones.
from. Um, but the go to for GI Joe would really have to be Sergeant Slaughter, but I'm going to refrain from using him because that's the obvious uh, choice. I feel like uh, Shipwreck um, versus Stone Cold, and they're both drunk after drinking
Bar fight.
50
Okay.
Steve Weisers. Yeah, after. Does your mom still hang out in dockside bars, Johnny?
What?
Shipwreck versus what? Well,
What?
stop a mud hole in your ass, squid boy.
I dig that. That's a great one. But you did miss. You said the most obvious one is Sergeant Slaughter, but the reality is, The Rock was also a world famous GI Joe. Don't you forget?
I must have missed that.
Yeah. No, you didn't see that GI Joe. What was the Cobra's Revenge or some nonsense?
That business on Cato Nemoidia doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
No.
That random
And
nonsense they did in Hollywood.
yeah, silly. Uh, and it. Hold on. And Shipwreck would be the winner due to interference with Polly pecking
Oh,
at Stone Cold, and it would be a dirty count out.
I don't know. But what if Coco Beware came in to save Stone Cold with his bird, and then the birds have their own little like flying above the ring? Oh,
Oh,
we're cooking. We're cooking
bird.
with oil now.
Ooh, that's like Hell in a Cell. Mm.
Hell in a bird cage.
Yeah, I still think Polly would win because Polly's a tough mother.
Probably still
Yeah,
takes it. Yeah, it has a little bit more
yeah,
combat experience, I think.
yeah.
Oh,
She's,
right.
Polly's a sailor. Seen combat.
All right, so we've got Paulie going over Stone Cold, and we've got we'll say Tommy going over AJ Styles in our WrestleMania uh, mystery tour there. But
All
all
right.
right, man, just under an hour, not bad. Let's see how this looks on YouTube. Hopefully, it goes on YouTube. If not, then that's okay. It'll be here on the pod, and we will be back next week with our State of Star Wars review. We might throw in a little bit of toy news. Obviously, there probably isn't a lot of toy news coming out at this time due to Toy Fair, so that's kind of why we're wanting to go ahead and shoehorn this State of Star Wars in next week. But that's all I've got. Uncle BJ, do you got anything else before we get out of here?
Yeah. I was I was rewatching. We didn't talk about stuff we watched, and I was watching a little bit of Stranger Things. 'Cause, as we do,
Wonderful.
we love Stranger Things, and man, I kept getting that stuck in my head. That and I pulled up on YouTube that Kate Bush that song,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, it's funny. Like her. I just gotta say, like her. That came out years ago. Like I remember that. In the '80s, and now like her that song has like millions and millions of views on YouTube,
Oh yeah.
and I don't even think I'd seen the video before I watched the video. I was like, what the hell am I watching? This is insane, but good
Oh yeah.
song.
My
Shout out to
daughter's got it
Kate
on her
Bush.
playlist. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Hey
good on
Bush,
her. Yeah, hey man.
doing big,
I mean,
doing big girl things.
do it, baby. Yeah, I mean, her bass player's no David Ellison, but I mean, they're doing their thing, man. They're getting it on and living the dream. But that's all I got.
All right. Well, we will continue to get on out there, and we will also continue to live the dream. But for myself and Uncle BJ, we're gonna throw one back, and we're gonna get on out of here.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Throwbacks. Do us a favor, head on over to Twitter and follow us at ThrowbacksPod. You can communicate, tweet us, whatever you want to do over there. And when you're done with that, head on over to YouTube and look us up at Throwbacks Podcast.